Wait, Zeepkist? Oh, wait, that's wrong pronunciation. With Zeepkist, I found about soapbox racing. Okay, maybe I know about it, or know about it, but didn't know what it was called until I found out about Zeepkist, which is a soapbox racing game. Which in which is in early access stage, at least for 4 years. So I probably should review it as an early access game. Which is a little bit surprising that there isn't a finished version yet already. And when it will be out of early access, then there might be another video about this game. It's a little bit surprising because I know it's an indie game, but on the other end, other indie games, especially for 4K alone, probably realize they game fall in these 4 years, which I don't know any to show as an example. Well, I got it around 4 years ago. Technically, I could have played on old laptop, but because it was rookies, I couldn't play. Then performance issues started to happen after it gives the option to repaint controls. And now that I have a new laptop, I finally figured to play it. But when playing it, it doesn't click for me. Maybe it isn't for me, or it isn't implemented right. Or it is because it still is an early access game. Well, when it will be at the early access stage, then maybe it could click for me. But at least while it is in an early access stage, then it doesn't click for me. Maybe I can play it for short bursts, but taking too long of time to reach even a bronze medal in a single track, which can take multiple play sessions, I'm losing interest in the game, and maybe started getting angry about the game. Like almost me getting those rage about the game. So it might be a rage game, which was either intended or not by those. Zeepkist was developed and published by Fun Interactive, only for Computer Trucks team. Because it is a soapbox racing game, then it is more or less a downhill racing game, as in it's about keeping momentum gained from downhills in posts and maybe from other stuff. Well, it isn't about racing other races. At least not at the same time, maybe except for local multiplayer, but racing other racers' time. Basically, it is a time trial, trying to get faster time. Sure, there are checkpoints, but those aren't also letting you utilize these checkpoints if you crash. Because you need to keep momentum gained when there isn't an option to accelerate. Because it is a soapbox racing game. If you crash, then you need to start the race track from the very beginning. These checkpoints are also to limit shortcuts in tracks with these checkpoints, and force you to go through all checkpoints to count your time when finishing the track. At least for now, there are little to none tutorials, even as item tutorials, teaching you what is needed to finish a track in time. In some adventure mode tracks there are signs saying what you need to, but in more difficult tracks there is nothing. Even before those tracks there isn't anything to teach you what is needed to do in later tracks. Because of those difficult tracks, I'm almost racing. Or maybe I'm not stumbling on tracks that teach you tricks that are needed to complete these tracks. Because adventure mode is played what's on the adventure map. Because other players might experience adventure mode tracks in an unintended way. Again, the player might find attracted teaches players a trick later than they found the track in which the trick is needed. Okay, I'm speculating about that. Because of that, I even completed the adventure mode tracks. Still, there is a need to have a slow introduction about tricks that are needed to complete later tracks. Adventure mode isn't only mode to play, there is free play. Playing adventure mode tracks without unlocking them in adventure mode and community made tracks, local and network multiplayer. So, this game tries to be a community active game. If that is a correct term to use it here. It's because there is a level or track editor included. It gives players the option to make their own tracks. And from what I remember from videos that I watch, those themselves are using this level editor to make tracks. Maybe even it was the first thing to be made, so they can make tracks easier. From what I noticed in settings, only in local multiplayer you can bump into other racers. Well, it is an option if you want to bump into other players or not, only in local multiplayer. Network multiplayer is basically the same as single player, but your team is sent to a server with which you can appear in the leaderboard, while also seeing other races. Network multiplayer can have up to 64 players, and if you want to host your server, which can be done from in-game, but only while you are in server, I guess, and choosing what tracks to play, you need to host a server to be able to choose what tracks to play on. If you want to have a lot of tracks in a server, then it may take a while to select tracks, because you need to select tracks by one, also by opening each track's folder, if tracks aren't in the same folder. And because there is a countdown along the server will allow you to play on a track, which can be changed when server changes tracks, game might discard your playlist if you haven't saved it. Sure, thankfully there is track playlist save feature, but there should be track selection on before hosting server and ability to select multiple tracks at once. Well, there is an option to see a track and it's a photo mode. However, there isn't a mouse sensitivity slider, not counting the mode option if it is in it. For bottom mode and because of eye sensitivity, and then the bottom mode is R2OS and then voltage is stuttery or something like that. There are some random features in tracks, probably which are randomized by the game engine on it. So some tracks might be randomized in a way that those things don't allow to complete the track, so it's just resetting the track to get that right engine that allows you to complete the track. Because the game is in early access, there isn't in-game mousing yet, but there is a saying it will come in a future update, which was already around 4 years ago. Speaking about being an early access game, it is already DLC. Not just free DLC, but also paid DLC. Thankfully, it is just cosmetic stuff, so maybe I should revolt this game as a full game. I have problems with the road cows, and its Steam allowing to have a DLC for early access games. Sure, it is a method to support those, but there will be a direct way using those will to support those, and maybe those will get more when the platform won't get a cut. I guess the only problem with the game for me is that there isn't even an item tutorial to teach a player what tricks are possible to finish a track in time. which could be changed in full release, or I'm just hoping for it. Maybe if there will be in-game mousing, even just main menu mousing is a placeholder, would help me to finish a track in time, or even make me try to get gold or outdoor medals. About recommending this game, I can only say it, try by yourself to figure out if you like it, or wait for full release. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like the video, subscribe and comment. See you next time.